breaking up can be really hard. It can be so painful that you stay in a relationship you don't want to stay in.
It can be painful, like that Paul Neil Sedaka song. Breaking up is hard to do. Sorry, Paul. Neil.
This is Reid from readmahako.com.
This is Cathy Vartuli from theintimacydojo.com and puttingupwithreid.com.
I think that you were all mistaken.
Are you breaking up with me?
No.
She might be breaking up with me. Why is breaking up hard?
Well, we have a lot of old stories, and we don't have the skills necessarily to talk to our partner. I really love that in some communities they talk about transitioning rather than breaking up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us were taught that when you break up, it's all over. You never talk to that person again. You give them back their CDs and their books, and you complain because they kept your favorite socks.
Which pretty much ensures, with that kind of idea of what breaking up is supposed to be, that you'll never have a good breakup. Because if you're never supposed to talk to that person again, and if they've been important into your life, then you kind of have to like burn all the bridges and just tear everything down. So how could you guys stay friends?
Yeah. It's really beautiful if you consider the possibility. You get to choose. There's some of my exes that I'm not in connection with. It wasn't a good fit. When we separated, it was the end. It was like, let's move out of each other's lives. And some of my exes were really good friends, where we know each other really well. So there's a possibility that you don't have to sever all ties and call them bad names on Facebook.
One way to make breaking up easier is when you start dating somebody, have a conversation about what the breakup would look like.
Exit strategies.
Exactly. And get all that weird conversation out in the open. Some people think that this is horrible dating advice, but I personally think that if you're dating somebody who can handle having that kind of conversation and understand why you might want to talk about exit strategies and expectations, you're probably dating a grown-up. Somebody who can actually handle being in a relationship. How good to be dating somebody who might be ready to be in a relationship. That's really awesome.
And you can practice the difficult conversations. There's a link for that below. If you're talking about things that are coming up as they come up, the breakup doesn't have to be this huge disintegration. You've already built skills to talk about things, and you've cleared the way. And so having a difficult conversation about, I don't think we're a good fit anymore, may be painful, but it doesn't have to dissolve everything or shatter everything.
Another great thing to look at too when you're starting relationships, which helps transition them if and when they come to a close, is getting really clear with both of you what your relationship intention is, what's your shared intention for that relationship. And that way, if you guys do grow apart, you can revert back to that shared intention and kind of use it as your compass and be really pragmatic and be like, wow, I think we're moving in different directions and in a way where it doesn't make sense for us to stay together. One of the best relationships I ever had was one where we realized we were a lot like each other's parents, and we were reenacting, basically doing family therapy with each other when our parents were still both alive. So we ended up getting disengaged. We were engaged at the time and got disengaged. It was one of the best breakups I'd ever had. And it was one of the most important relationships I ever had, because it was in that relationship that I learned that you could choose powerfully that this relationship wasn't the one for what we needed to suit us both. And we still remain really good friends to this day. Hi, Sandra.
So I love what you said about what is your intention for the relationship. And a lot of people just kind of fall into relationships. They don't have why do I want to be in a relationship with this person? What am I bringing to their life? What are they bringing to mine? That gives you a really clear line where if that stops being met, those needs stop being met, let's talk about this. Let's figure out if we can get those needs met again or if we need to split up. And that leaves a very healthy, you're kind of weeding out the dead wood, so to speak.
So having a healthier relationship or getting into a relationship more mindfully and having a healthier, more communicative relationship during makes breaking up easier when and if you guys get to the place where it becomes apparent that you shouldn't be staying together any longer.
And you have a great recording on that on your site.
Yeah, you can go to readaboutsex.com. We'll leave a link for you, and learning how to break up with integrity and perhaps some panache. It doesn't have to be that hard.
Let us know how your breakups have been, what you'd like to hear about on these videos. Leave it in the comments below.
Bye!